What's up guys, French Fit here, back with another video. Today we are going to be talking about how to figure out how many calories you should be consuming on a daily basis, whether your goal is to maintain your weight, lose weight, or gain weight. A lot of people have a goal of what they want to do, whether it's lose 10 pounds or put on 5 pounds of muscle or maintain their weight. But a lot of people don't know how to calculate the right caloric needs, so I'm going to show you how to do that today, so stay tuned. Alright guys, so in order to find out how many calories we need to be consuming on a daily basis, we're going to try to find our EER, or our energy expenditure rate. This is how many calories your body's going to be burning, and it also takes into account your sex, your age, your height, and your weight, as well as your activity level, which is a big one. So all these factors are going to play into the number we get at the end of this equation. There are many other ways that people use to find how much calories they should be intaking, but I believe the EER is the most accurate just because it takes into effect all those factors. And I got the notes right here. This is, I actually learned this in a nutrition class at school, so you know I'm not BSing you. So let's get into the equation. Alright guys, hopefully you can see this. I'm behind the camera right here. So one of the things I really like about this method is there's an equation for men and an equation for women, so it's even more specified. So I'm just going to jump back here so I don't ruin the view. So ladies first, we'll start with the women. So this is the equation, pretty long. So might want to use a calculator, that's what I used. So we start with a bracket and then 354 minus parentheses 6.91 times your age. So for example, I did a 20-year-old woman, so substitute that with 20, parentheses, close bracket, plus PA stands for physical activity, so that's your activity level. You see the PA I have down there is sedentary, low, active, and very active. So if you're sedentary, you don't really do much, you replace that PA with a 1.0. If you're very active, you replace it with a 1.45. I just chose an active individual, so 20 years old active, we replace that with 1.27. Then we got another bracket, another parentheses, 9.36 times your weight in kilograms. So if you weigh, I believe I did about 135 pound woman, so divide 135 by 2.2, kilogram is about 2.2 pounds, so we got 61.36, plus another parenthesis, 726 times your height in meters, which I did about a 5'7" woman, so came up to about 1.7 meters. So our grand answer, get this moved out a little bit, for maintenance calories for this woman, a 20-year-old woman, 135 pounds, about 5'7", with a pretty active lifestyle is, drumroll please, see if I can find a place to put this, 2,512 calories per day. Now, this is different if your goals are to gain weight, lose weight, maintain. This is just to maintain. So eat about 2,500 calories a day. If this is you, you'll probably stay around the same weight. If you want to lose weight, probably take away 300 to 500 calories, probably just about 300 to start. Lose as much weight as you can off that. Then when your weight plateaus, take away another 200-300. If you want to gain weight, do the opposite. Add 300. Once you stop gaining weight with that, add another couple hundred. So yeah, this is the woman's equation. Hopefully you could see that good and I explained it decently. I used a calculator. I'm not really good at math, so it's a pretty long one. If you can write it out, good for you, but I just use a calculator. So that is the woman's equation. So let's get into the men's. Alright, now for the men's equation. So make sure you do the right one for you because these are honestly drastically different. They're different in a lot of different spaces. So let's get it started off here. We got a bracket, 662 minus parenthesis 9.53 times age. Again, I did a 20-year-old male, so times 20, close parenthesis, close bracket, minus, or plus rather, plus physical activity. Now, you'll notice the physical activity levels are It's a little darker. Marker's fading out. Physical activity levels are different for male and female. So sedentary is the same. They're both 1.0. But for low and active, the numbers for the males are actually lower than female. So instead of 1.12, it's 1.11. Small difference, but it is a difference. So for active, it's 1.25. I believe female was 1.27. And then for very active, it's a little bit higher. Instead of 1.45 for the males, we clock in at 1.48. So I did the same exact statistics as I did for the female. So times that by 1.25, or add it rather, and then we got another bracket, parenthesis, 15.91 times weight in kilograms, did the same weight, 61.36 kilograms, plus, then we did a close parenthesis, plus, open parenthesis, 539.6 times height, and again I did 1.7 meters, which turns out to about a 5'7" person. So this one we got 2,838 calories. So the reason I did the same exact statistics for the male and female was to show you that even though they have the same activity level, they're the same age, same height, same weight, the sole factor between these about 300 calories, which is a decent amount if you think about it, is because they're male and female. It's not anything that the males or females did differently. It's just physiologically, biologically, just how we are. So again, I would use a calculator if I were you, unless you're really good at math. I am not. So that is how I would say the most accurate way to figure out your maintenance calories are. There are other methods and they are better than guessing, but I believe this one is the most accurate. Now, I'm going to show you guys how to break it down into a certain macronutrient profile, so stay tuned. Alright, set a few guidelines here just for reference. So, we're going to take that 2,838 calories and distribute it into the 3 macronutrients. So, 3 macronutrients: protein, carbs, and fats. Now, there is a different calorie value for each one. So, protein, P for protein, 4 calories per gram. So if you see something with 10 grams of protein, that's 40 calories. Carbs, also 4 calories per gram. Fat is 9 calories per gram, which is why I think a lot of people back when they thought fat was really bad for you, they probably just looked at this and thought, oh, it's a lot more calorie dense, so we should avoid it, which isn't really the case, but it is much more calorically dense than carbs and protein. Also, alcohol is a whole different story. It has 7 calories per gram, but this isn't a beer channel, so we're not going to focus on that. So, lay those out. Now I'm going to show you how you can distribute it into whatever you want. This is pretty customizable, so let's get into it. Alright guys, so the way I like to do things is a little different than other people may do it, but this is what I find works for me and also works for a lot of other athletes. So, I like to do, for protein, 1 gram per pound of body weight. So I weigh about 185, so I'm going to do 185 grams of protein. So I'm timesing that by 4 because there's 4 calories in a gram of protein, so 740 calories are going to be coming from protein. So if I take that away from our starting value, it leaves me with almost 2,100 calories left to play around with carbs and fats. Now, this is really up to you how you structure this. I would say at least 20% of your calories should come from fats just to keep hormone levels regular. So 20% or more, could be a little less I guess if you wanted to, but I would probably go 20% or higher. And then the rest you can just fill in with carbs. I mean, you could do 30% and then less carbs, or you can do a lot of carbs and less protein. It's really customizable. This is what I feel works for me best. Some people might do better off, higher fat. Some people might do better off lower fat and a ton of carbs, but you just have to play around with it. No one knows your body better than you do. Everyone's different, so we're going to show you what I come up with for the total macros. Alright guys, so our final macros have come out to 185 grams of protein, 63 grams of fat, and 383 grams of carbs. So again, I just took my body weight, 185, times that by 4, we got the 740. Then I took this 2,838 and times it by 0.2 to get that 20%. That number I divided by 9 because there's 9 calories in a gram of fat, came out to 63 grams. And then I added these two numbers together, and the remaining were all carbs. So we divided that remaining number by 4 because there's 4 calories in a gram of carbs, and then we got that 383. So I feel like this is a pretty simple procedure of how to figure out macros. The only other thing that I'd probably be concerned with is fiber. You want to try to get about 14 grams of fiber for every 1,000 calories you consume. So here you'd want to be getting probably 30 grams of fiber or more. That should probably do you 35. So yeah, hope you learned something from this video. Hopefully the whiteboard angle, you could see it decently. Let me know if you'd like to see more of these nutrition and nutrition-based videos, because I could definitely do that with the whiteboard. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like the video. Stay tuned. French Fit out.